Bon dia, Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal live stream with expatsportugal.com. We're also a YouTube channel and a podcast, just up and over 400 episodes of the podcast, and some really great, well, what were they called? Not movies, are they? But YouTube films, episodes. Yes, YouTube episodes that we have on our YouTube channel now, with some really helpful webinars that we've done. Like last night, we were talking to Daniel dos Reis from Reis and Pelicano, the law firm, about what to do, the specifics of the legals that you have to take on board after you found your dream home in Portugal. So lots of useful information like that, and lots of shows like this one. It's going to be a lot of fun this morning. After I've got the news and the weather out of the way, talking to Giulia and Joanne, who have both have some experience of laughter yoga, and Giulia as well, of course, is a very experienced aromatherapist and teacher. So we're finding out more about aromatherapy this morning. So what a fantastic Feel Good Friday we have lined up for you. Do tell us how you're doing and where you are this morning. Let's have a quick look at that weather, shall we? Let's see in the capital this morning. I'm my own little digital seaweed here, and I can feel it in my water. Is that the weather is good all around the country. Let's see if I'm backed up by official and professional meteorologists. I've got an interesting, very quick article to share with you about the Portuguese government's plan to make the COVID app compulsory, which has run into a little bit of consternation and hot water around the country, it would seem. Interesting times as we are into day 2 now of the state of calamity, of course. Let me know maybe how that's affecting you, if at all. I talked to the lawyer Daniel Reis about the atmosphere in Lisbon at the moment, and he said people are getting a little bit fed up with now, I suppose, the fatigue of the situation having gone on for so many months, and the possibility of compulsory mask wearing in the street. But I'm sure the Portuguese people will be of good cheer with this, and we'll get through it soon enough. Lisbon, 12 degrees at the moment, 21 to look forward to. They don't agree with me. It's going to be a little bit cloudy in the capital, but 21 degrees, you can't really argue with that on the 16th of October, can you? Certainly not where I'm from. 54 in Fahrenheit, that is, for you Fahrenheiters, 70 degrees, the high. Yes, a little bit cloudy in Lisbon this morning. Porto, 10 degrees currently and clear, and it will stay that way, folks, up to 18 degrees this morning. Coimbra, 7 degrees and clear. A little bit chilly now in this part of the country, but rising to a sunny 21 degrees. And in Faro, a little bit cloudy, but still 21 degrees, and currently 13 degrees and clear. A few bon dias coming in. Gemini Bradshaw, what a lovely name. Gemini Bradshaw saying good morning. Not sure we've had you on the screen before, Gemini, but lovely to have your company. And from last night's Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, I think this guy was up quite late last night at the lock-in, at the after party. Neil saying bon dia to us all. Okay, so let's have a very quick look at this news item about the COVID app. I think this is very interesting. It's a real test of people's, I don't know, willingness, a test of democracy, you could say as well. And certainly that's what some people are saying this morning. Government's plan to make Stay Away COVID app compulsory is a grotesque anti-democratic intrusion. So feelings running quite high, of course, as measures come in that affect all of our lives. The government's move to make the health authorities Stay Away COVID contract tracing app, or that should say contact tracing, although I guess there is some contract work going in behind the scenes. There has been in the UK. Contact tracing app mandatory has been labelled a grotesque anti-democratic intrusion. Digital Protection Association, Associação D3, is considering a legal bid for a providencia cautelar embargo. If successful, this would thwart the government's intentions and bring the focus back on why so much in the way of individual freedoms is being removed for a virus from which most people recover. And that seems to be a growing sentiment, and also dividing people, of course. As the association argues, it's not even clear that the app is any real use. Says D3 Vice President Ricardo Lafuente, there has been nothing to demonstrate that Stay Away or indeed any other kind of app makes any difference. The absence of a sign of success or impact in Portugal or another country leaves us very apprehensive about the role this app has in combating a pandemic. There is also the fact that when the app was launched, the government stressed its download was totally voluntary. To change this now from one day to the next and without any supporting data to show the app's usefulness simply serves to make citizens feel betrayed. I won't read the whole thing now, but I think this is an interesting development in the situation, and it is certainly part of the hoped-for law, I think, among the new measures that have come in as the state of calamity returns to Portugal. Your comments about that I thought I'd shared that on the screen. Sorry, I didn't, but I read it to you anyway. And your thoughts about that, I'd be very, very glad to hear. A few more hellos before we say good morning to our guests. And stand by. You may need to loosen your clothing because I think we're going to have some laughter yoga. Make yourselves comfortable. It's a laughter yoga morning. I'm really hoping that they do want to do that. My two guests, Giulia Centemeri and Joanne Helms, waiting in the green room. Just a couple more hellos then from everybody, and we'll say hello to Joanne and Giulia. Neil, blanket of mist over the Alentejo Plains this morning, though beautiful and sunny. Eloise, also from the Wine Club last night. Bon dia, todos. Bon dia, beautiful people. There's a good start to the day from Owen and Gemini. Oh, we have said hello to Gemini before, and she is in London this morning. Happy Friday from Dominique Core. Good morning. Bon dia, my dear, from Pequeno. Podrogo Pequeno, I got that right. Sounds beautiful. I'm sure Owen's talking about the laughter yoga. And Will Thompson. Bon dia, found out last night about app Silper Slope. I wonder if that's a typo. Was okay with a mandatory mask stint while we figured out how that helped. Then mandatory withdrawn. Apps by law? No, says Will, who's been with us all the way, advising us and giving his views about the pandemic so far, and he's been proved to be right on so many occasions. So let's bring on Giulia and Joanne. Good morning to you both. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing really well. How about you, Giuliana?
I'm very good. Great morning. Be here with you talking about laughing yoga, essential oil, and all this stuff.
And we're practicing a bit of Portuguese, as you can see from the bottom of the screen there. Sexta-feira, dia 16 de outubro. And I was talking to you earlier, Giulia, about your grasp of Portuguese, which I think is pretty good. And you're in the Algarve this morning, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm in the sunny Algarve. A little chilly in the morning, but then during the day, the sun is really warming up.
How lovely. And you also spent some of your time in Switzerland, right?
Yes, I'm from the Italian part of Switzerland, where I have a school of clinical aromatherapy, and we use aromatherapy in the hospitals, in the nursing home, in the everyday life also, but we have a very big experience in the clinical use of aromatherapy.
That's
and the
wonderful. Oh, so any questions about aromatherapy, folks, put them in the comments and we'll ask Giulia. And Joanne, where are you in the world this morning?
Well, I'm in Coimbra, although my son is in Algarve, so I go there very often. He spends half his time there and half his time up here. And well, I was spreading laughter yoga all over the world. I had a great tour organized for this year in all different countries. And then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm laughing online. I'm laughing right now with all of you. And I would very much like to do a little bit of laughter yoga with anybody who's watching today.
Oh, that's so great. So we will get around to that. That'll be a fantastic way, I think, for people to start their Fridays. And you've got some added value, I think, with you there. Have you got two little kittens playing and turning off your computer for you from time to time?
I'm going to show you the kittens. It's a miracle they've actually fallen asleep now.
Oh, look. What are their names?
So the one that is totally white is called Blue, and the one with a little patch on his head is called Sky. So together they are Blue Sky.
Oh, how lovely. So the white one's called Blue. That's cool. That's cool.
It's because of her blue eyes. She has blue eyes. And then she was the first one to be named. And then my son said, well, we'll have to call the other one Sky then, so that their names together sound trendy.
Yeah, so Sky Blue or Blue Sky works both ways. Good morning Portugal from Manchester, UK, from Pauline. And Wendy's here. Hi, what do you ladies suggest for chronic fatigue syndrome? I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm not going to be a spoiler there. Giulia, could you tell us a little bit more first about your school, how it works, how you got into aromatherapy in the first place? Lovely to learn a bit more about your background.
Yeah, so I get in the aromatherapy 20 years ago when I gave birth to my daughter, Michelle. and she's 19 now. And I was in Austria, and they was already so very developed for this complementary treatments. And in the hospital, they offer me the aromatherapy. So basically, then I get my daughter when I was back in Milano, where I was living at that time. But I brought with me a bottle of lavender essential oil, and I use this during all the process. And so I gave birth to my daughter with the help of essential oil. After that, I start to use essential oil for a while, and 5 years ago, I started to use essential oil with my ex-husband, that is the chef for a geriatric center in one of the major clinics in Switzerland, and we start to treat the disorder for people with dementia, Alzheimer, and Parkinson, and this kind of problem. And then other colleagues started to be interested to use for the side effect of the people under chemotherapy, and then the everyday use with every kind of symptoms, because essential oils are very effective because they work simultaneously on the emotional part and on the physical part. Is a part of the phytotherapy, so there is a chemical compound inside. One bottle is really full of chemistry, but it's a natural chemistry, and there's a very complicated complex that work really well without any side effect. And if you knew some knowledge, basic knowledge, is very, very safe. And this morning, because we talk about laughing, we talk about somebody send a message and ask what to do with the syndrome, fatigue syndrome, and to boost your mood, to be happy. I suggest the bergamots. I'm very sorry that unfortunately the technology doesn't give us the opportunity to feel the smell. Not yet in the computer.
Yeah.
But just to start the morning in this way, I put a couple of drops in my on my hand, and I can breathe this through.
Giulia, I'm feeling it. Even though the technology hasn't been developed yet, and it's not, I'm sure it's in the post. I'm sure geeks and nerds are working on it now so that we can connect our senses up. But I'm feeling that. I'm really feeling that, and that's bergamot is the what's in Earl Grey tea, isn't it? It's orange citrus peel. Is that where it comes from?
Yeah, it's from the peel of the bergamot that is like a lemon but much bigger.
Oh, I see. Citrus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can use in the diffuser like that. That's most of us have as at home. We can put in the water and stir and then drink. We can put in our food. My daughter is specialized to make a drink and put use the oils in a drink. Very nice mojito or other drinks. We can add the oils or in the kitchen. And for yoga and for starting the day is wonderful.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. I mean, and it's news to me that you can eat it. And I suppose, yeah, I mean, the extracts of natural products are obviously well known in food, but to eat essential oils, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's come back to you in just a minute with that. And also, I'm very interested to learn about how you've got into or created an integrated picture with conventional medicine, because I think that's really important. It's always been seen as a kind of alternative thing, hasn't it, in the last few decades? But now we seem to be bringing things together beautifully. But let's find out how Joanne, who is also known as Anna Banana, I think, got into laughter yoga. How did you get in? How does one get into laughter yoga, Joanne?
Well, it's quite interesting because listen to Giuliani. She was talking about how a certain situation will project you into experimenting something new, something challenging in your life. So I was working in the circus. I've been working in the circus since I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I suffered a very serious health issue, which comes from, using your body to the full extent and beyond it. So none of my articulations worked anymore. And I also was suffering from a depression from my separation from my Portuguese husband, my first husband. And it was during that period that life had just come to a very, uncomfortable dead end, that I discovered laughter yoga. And I thought it would be absolutely romantic and, ironic as well that I could heal my body through laughter, since I'd spent my entire life helping people laugh. So I bought the book because there was no laughter yoga in Portugal. And I sat here in this exact room, turning the pages and going, right, telephone laughter. Pretend you're talking to somebody on the telephone and just make the sound of laughter. Your brain can't tell the difference. It will heal you even if it's not real. So there I was going, ha, 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 thinking this is the most ridiculous thing in the world to do, ha, ha, ha. And then I wrote a letter to the author, Dr. Kataria, and I said, I can't see how this is actually going to do me any good. And he said, you should try and get a group of people together, because then the simulated laughter starts getting real. So I could hardly walk in that time. I got together with a friend of mine who was actually in a wheelchair, and we went to a farmer's market and shouted at the tops of our lungs, we're going to do laughter yoga, everybody, at 12 o'clock, laughter yoga. And we got a group of people. I had the book, and we did our first laughter yoga session, and everybody was in hysterics, rolling on the floor, laughing their heads off. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, I've just spent my entire life dedicated to humor, and these people are laughing for no reason at all. So then I discovered, it was really, I just got addicted to it. I just thought, I just want to see this again. I just want to see more people doing this. And I just forgot completely that I was sick. Anybody would invite me, I'll come and do laughter yoga. I just traveled the whole country doing it. And with my friend in the wheelchair, he could drive because he had a special car adapted. And then I just became famous for it. And I was like on television all the time. And lo and behold, my articulations healed and my depression went away. And my doctor doesn't really have an explanation for it, because he said the cartilage was gone from all the, all the circus performing and stuff like that. So I don't even know how laughter could grow cartilage, but I do know that a lot of people have had miraculous healing through laughter. I also used laughter yoga on my birth, just like you used aromatherapy. And it was great because it's an analgesic and a muscle relaxant. So one big giggle and out he flew, right in this house as well. In the next room, I had my child.
Just like that.
So anybody listening, yes, it's nice to be in a laughter yoga session. And I know I can't really do that at the moment because of COVID, but we can do laughter yoga online. We can do it one-on-one, or we can do it in a group. But, you can just practice on your own, and you can do it while you're washing up, while you're cleaning, whatever you're doing. You just take deep breaths in. Let's just do it for a moment right now. Just breathe in. Carl, breathe in really deep. And then just make the sound like laughter. Just go ha 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 ha. Join in, Giulia. I know you're a laughter leader. She's a laughter leader. And let's just do it one more time. Just breathe in deeply. And then just go ha 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 ha. Well, I've been doing this for a long time, so my body just automatically switches into real laughter. No matter how I'm feeling, I could be terrified with the situation we're living in at the moment. I could be completely broke, which is kind of close to my reality after my work completely coming to a halt. I could be really sick. It doesn't really matter what state you're in. You start doing this exercise, and emotionally, the muscles in your face, when you just pull them back, they activate the glands that let down the endorphins. So it's a kind of natural drug. You can get high on it.
Yes, I saw that little wink there. Yes, well, what a fantastic thing to do, and I'm all for.
Yeah.
You say opening up the glands of a morning or any time of day. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. And apparently, you were spotted dressed as a big fairy. So it looks like you make people laugh wherever you go, I think.
Actually, I have a live show tomorrow, 11 o'clock. If anybody wants to come, they just have to join the group called Fadas Agarrayada Funny Fairies. And the first half an hour, I'll show you how to get out of any rut through laughter yoga. The second half an hour is for questions. And the reason I'm in a fairy dress is because, well, I've been here for 25 years, and I live in an old barn that I restored. And I never knew that mold, be careful, everybody moving to Portugal.
Okay.
This is a damp country, and there's mold hidden in the crevices. And this attacks my immune system, which then has actually attacked my thyroid. And I started losing energy to the point where I couldn't work. I got very, very sick. And so I was really happy, but really sick. And when you have Hashimoto's, it affects your mood. You get depression and you get anxiety. So I was really happy and anxious and depressed. I was like, this is just so weird. It took ages for the doctors to figure it out. So at that time, I evolved a different form of laughter yoga. I evolved a kind of laughter yoga which is sensorial. So where can you find laughter? In colors, in aromatherapy, in food. So during that time, I built an enormous, well, it's not enormous. It's got about 6 houses so far. I built a fairy garden, and I dress up as a fairy, and I invite people here to play in the fairy garden. The roofs come off the houses, and you can fill them with furniture and stuff. Tomorrow afternoon, we have a miniature fairy furniture workshop here at my home, only for up to 8 people. And I have 4 people so far, so 4 people could come to that and just find extreme joy, euphoria, happiness in things that feel good, that smell good, that look good, that taste good. So whenever you come to my house, you get cupcakes and cakes and stuff like that. But it's all sugar-free and you gluten-free and all that stuff. So yes, I'm about cheering people up. I'm about filling life with joy. I'm about showing people that we actually are very lucky to be in Portugal, and there are a lot of people in this world far worse off than we are, and we can raise our emotions to a higher level and stay positive, because that boosts our immune system.
Wonderful, Joanne. That's such good news to hear. And I want to come back to this idea of integration, because some of these things, and I'm with you on this. I've been involved in complementary therapies for decades now, one way or another, and we've seen a move, haven't we, from them being quite weird things to do and on the fringe or even a cult, into an integration into the mainstream. Because maybe in many ways, a mainstream modern medicine has a few kind of holes where it doesn't quite know what to do. So they've had to be maybe a bit more open-minded and introduce things that might work. Julia, you sound like you've been at the center of this in integration. What have you managed to achieve in talking to doctors and the people in white coats?
Yeah, that is a main point for our school, because I didn't mention before I was talking with the oils. I'm a certified aromatherapist from NAR. That is one of the biggest association in the United States. And I have a school in Switzerland, the Equilibrium Academy. And we founded also an association, Swiss Aromatherapy Association, for clinical aromatherapy. And we use in integrated way, means we don't like the word alternative, because this natural treatment could not be alternative to the medicine, to the allopathic medicine, but should be complementary and for an integrated medicine. Yes. In my opinion, there are only 2 medicine, a good medicine and a bad medicine.
Here.
So, not allopathic or alternative, but a good medicine and a bad medicine. And the good medicine can really take a lot of advantage using an integration with a lot of other support. And essential oil, because there are the phytochemical extract inside, very concentrated and work so well from a physical point of view and emotional point of view at the same time, very effective, low cost. They can work really well with everything. Joanne, I will send you a bottle of our oils for your cupcakes and for your session, so you will be able to experiment and send the feedback. You was mentioned problem of anxiety and depression, and they work really extremely well for anxiety. For example, we can use a lavender, or for depression, for mood changing, we can use orange and peppermint. And there are a scientific study that you can find on PubMed. Just go on PubMed and write essential oil for anxiety or for depression, and you can see tons of scientific clinical studies done about that. We did one of these studies in the clinical in Lugano, in Switzerland, and we see how the patient really improve much quicker than the other that didn't receive the aromatherapy for their depression and anxiety. We also use the touch. Touch is very, very important, and already the touch is there are Japanese studies that show how the power is powerful, the touch. We do the hand touch, so it's very easy to do even on the old people, and a couple of drops of essential oil and just gently touch. Of course, we give classes for all these kind of things, but it's something really effective. I saw a comment before. Somebody say that I didn't know that it's possible to add to the drink and food essential oil. I want to mention that it's very, very important, the quality of the oils. Not every oil could be used for internal use and to drink and to put safely. Unfortunately, I have to say that the 70% of the essential oil are adulterated. So that it's a big problem. It's not enough that they write a pure essential oil or that they write bio, because this is unfortunately is not enough. 70% of essential oil that we tested in the laboratory in the university in Milano, they have some kind of adulteration. Adulteration doesn't mean always that they had some chemical or bad, but maybe just that they distill a part of the lavender in the wrong period of the year, or that it's another botanical type of an hybrid lavender and not the Lavandula angustifolia, and doesn't have the same component inside. So it's a very interesting topic. Maybe Carl, our follower and guest are interested to develop in details, even with our naturopathic doctor, something in one of your evening to see more in details how the essential oil can work.
Absolutely, we'd love to do that. Yeah, Anna Neves was responding to you, saying amazing. Von Co is here as well. Very interesting. How could I buy? I have put the link to your online store, Giulia, there. So my.terra.com/G Centemeri. But that'll be in the comments there. And that, from what you're saying, there is obviously a good source. I've tried these doTERRA oils myself, and they are good. They're more expensive than the others, but that's the reason why. It's because they're really good quality, right?
Yeah, it's a good quality, but you have to consider that there is not possible to have a very high quality of essential oil if they are really pure.
Yeah.
Plus, a bottle of oil, so we have 15 millimeters of oils. It contains between 250 and 300 drops. So you consider that a dose, it's a 1 drop or 2 drop. Yeah. So it means that if you divided the cost of a bottle, that can vary, it's very variable, because it could be from 10 euros to 250 for a rose. Oh, yeah. Rose is a very difficult oil to obtain, because can you imagine from the petal of the rose?
Yes,
how many petals? You need 30 30 roses to make 1 drop of essential oil of rose. It's completely different than the lemon that you can just take the peel and with your finger have some oil very easily. So the price, of course, is a determinant to understand the quality. A good quality, high quality of oils cannot be cheap. But if you consider that it's only 1 or 2 drop, at the end, the cost for a dose, it's 10, 15 cents. So it's much, much lesser than a pill of a normal medicament that you can buy for an headache.
Or a glass of wine. Actually, it's very, very good value if you compare it to other things that people do. Coffee, wine, petrol, essential oils is actually very, very good value. Sarah Ferreira says, Ferreira, good morning all. Great to know that oils can be added to food and drinks. There you go. It was that comment. Loving laughing yoga. We're going to finish with some of that, I hope. I think I found my vocation, she says. So, Sarah, you need to talk to Joanne, I think, about that. Grassa's here. Bon dia. I like to have a good laugh with Grassa from time to time. And Andrea. Oh, so this is someone who needs to have a laugh with us this morning. Bon dia. Should be flying to Portugal today. Gutted. We can't. There's no time to quarantine. If in some way there will be a compensation for you this morning, as we all have a laugh together, I hope there, Andrea. For sure, says Anna Nevish, that was a comment about the integration. And Will, this is exactly what's happened with vitamin D this year. Sorry, Joanne, to hide you for just a moment. Vitamins aren't considered flashy, yet all the trials consistently show 60 to 90% improvement across the board. UK government doing a trial to let us know in 6 months and let us know how it goes, when they should just ask Scandinavian countries, nutritionists and GPs, and of course the complementary integrated therapists they can ask as well, as we have here today. Can we really use these special oils even for cakes and cocktails? That's a new thing. Can we put them in cocktails, Giulia?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. My daughter is a specialist. During the lockdown, she gets an online very serious school for bartender, and then she really enjoy to mix the essential oil for the cocktail, and we have this cocktail party online with friends and with this wonderful smell of essential oil in cakes. And so I suggest to use always the essential oil, not to cook the essential oil because you lose with the high temperature. But for example, last night I did a very nice hot chocolate, and at the end, when I was ready to drink it, that was not too much hot, I put a couple of drops of orange. So I had a wonderful cup of homemade with Swiss cocoa, hot chocolate with the aroma and the taste of orange.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Love the hope oil and the charity help. So as well as, I guess, the specific species-based, is that what they'd be called, oils, there are blends as well, are there, that bring about certain effects? And that maybe is what Anna's talking about here. There's a hope oil, is there?
Can you repeat? I didn't hear you.
Anna's talking here, saying, I love the hope oil and the charity oil. Are these blends of oils?
Oh, yes. Hope is a blend that doTERRA made. Okay. And there's a special purpose to help the women, but not only women. doTERRA is really very deeply involved in charity, and has an association that is called Healing Hands, and they do a lot of things. They make school because these oils are produced in the 47 different countries where there are the best of the quality. And they bring water, they build schools, hospitals, and there is a Healing Hands that also organize services to help women for the prostitution and keep them away from rape and things like that. So they are really, so a part of the price that we put sometimes, it's also for these very good causes that allow, because I think that when a woman go like in Madagascar and pick up at 3 o'clock in the morning the beautiful flowers of ylang ylang, we have ylang ylang here, is one of my favorite oils that I use as a perfume in the morning.
Mm.
And ylang ylang also calm down, and this smell you can put on your hair is so exotic. And this flower needs to be picked up at 3 o'clock in the morning before the sunrise damage the flower at the right moment when the flower blossom. And this mom go early in the morning. They let the children at home. They pick up the flowers, and the time then when the children get up and be ready to go to be prepared for school, they are back home. And if they know that they receive a good amount of money that allow to provide for their children, and they have a school where to send their children, that they have water in their village, even the energy that they can use they put, I believe very much in the energy, as Joanna was talking before about this energy, this good mood with the laughing and the energy. When you pick up the flower, you put some energy in this flower, and this flower is what we use for the distillation of these oils. And so it's correct that we don't that we pay the right amount for these people. The majority of other companies, they go through trade, and they pay really very small amount of money to these people, and that is not right. I think that they deserve the right amount of money for the work that they do, and so they can be happy. They can take care of their families, their children, and even the energy that they put in their job give us another quality of oil with also the good energy and not only the good chemistry.
Absolutely, well said there. Well said. And there's another question. Oh, where can we buy them? The link is up there for buying them directly from Giulia. So you should be able to find that, Gemini, in the comments. Frank, who's with me for the Expat Man, somebody called it the Caveman Group. It's the Expat Man Cave tonight at 10. Bon dia, Carl, wondering if essential oils can be derived from HBIs. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I'm sure we'll find out this evening. And I think it's probably time now. You were saying there, Giulia, and quite rightly so, that people need to be paid appropriately for what they do. You know, we need to look after each other, don't we? And we live in a crazy system where that is sometimes a bit difficult. Joanne, you were saying that your business has been crushed by the pandemic. Let's see what we can do for you this morning and drum up a little bit more interest in what you do. So can we have a little taster, and then let's make sure we've got links to your workshops online and offline so that we can get some money coming your way as well.
First of all, I'd like to say blue and sky are up.
Oh, look.
But here's blue, and here's her beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah.
And here's Sky. Cheeky. He used to be called Toupee, but well, because he does look like he's got a toupee. I mean, just look at that.
Okay. Oh, of course, he does look like he's got. I thought you meant you could put him on your head as a toupee, but he's got his own little toupee there.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I look wonderful.
He doesn't like toupee.
They are all over me at the moment, and they do that thing where they're kind of like milking you, because I've got a sweater on that I think reminds them of their mum.
Oh, of course, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, yes. Well, actually, about life coming to a full stop and something new starting, I really welcome that in my life. And I've had an amazing time building up this little fairy village. And now I have, I don't know, about 15 different activities. You can just go to the webpage, escoladoriso.com, and then you go to the section where it says kids, and there's a list of all the activities. I put that part in English as well. Okay. The activities are for any age. I mean, we all got a kid inside. And I've just come up with like loads of interesting services. Like I'm even teaching Portuguese because online, or if people come here, because I've been here for 25 years and I grew up in Spain. So my Portuguese sounds local. Quando eu estou a falar português, eu não tenho sotaque inglês. Meu português é completamente puro. So I can really teach Portuguese, fully. So I kind of like come up with this potpourri of thousands of wonderful things to do. And now I'm putting a show together with the fairies and a friend of mine who plays a harp, and we go to schools and play beautiful music for people. So remember that when life closes a door, there's going to be like an enormous garage door opening somewhere else, and you're just going to flower into something that you never expected you would be doing. So thank you for your tips about aromatherapy. Actually, That's exactly the ones I'm using, because when I finally got diagnosed, I found out that 1 in 5 people have thyroid problems, and well, I can't say I'm fully recovered because it still affects me a little bit, but I've got the energy, and I have aromatherapy all over me right now. I've got mint on my feet, which I always do in the morning to give me that little spring in my step. So thank you for that. And that is something that I also use, on top of the cupcakes and things. I have a garden that's got every single wild medicinal plant that can grow in this part of Portugal. I've been cultivating that. So when people come here, they can learn all about what's out there that's edible and with practically everything, and how to use it, how to consume it, and how to make like really powerful smoothies with all these wild medicinal plants. So that is something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy receiving people and giving them solutions for everything. Because I started the home ed group here, and I actually ran a forest school at my house, I'm also helping people with what to do if you're stuck with your kids, because that's a service I call Fun Mum. You can just call me on Zoom, and we can have a Fun Mum session, and I can just dive in deep to whatever is your main issue, get to know your relationship with your child, and give you a multitude of solutions for home educating or for helping your children get into a Portuguese school or out of a Portuguese school. Because I have a daughter from a Portuguese man, and I have a son from a German man. And now I'm currently looking for a new man. Any men out there? I'm wonderful. I thought I'll go to dance. I'll go to dance classes and pick somebody up. But I've contacted them, and they said, "Oh, because of COVID, you have to actually come with somebody." And I was like, "That's a bit pointless."
See what we can do. Joanne, you said a Portuguese one, a German one. What do you fancy next?
Well, actually, I'm English. I've never dated an Englishman, so I know I'm here selling all my wonderful services, which are listed on the webpage Escola do Riso. I actually contacted expats because I thought, expats, maybe I could find myself a dance partner. That was my main reason for coming on this Facebook group. But I prefer to do some action than actually do a lot of speaking. Could we do a little bit more laughter yoga? Is that okay?
Let's finish with that this morning. I've got one question with it. Will's asking if he can chat with you about a board game. That he's got really high hopes for a board game that could be such a sort of regenerative force in society.
I'm up for that.
Okay, so let's go, and I'll put you two together with that.
So can we do a little bit of laughter yoga?
We will absolutely do some laughter yoga. We've put your website on the screen, so take it away. We'll finish the show with some laughter today.
Okay, so as I said, you don't have to go into the genuine laughter, and you can do it at any time. You don't have to wear special clothes. You can just keep going the ha 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 ha. It is important to play with the vowels, because each vowel will work on a specific chakra in your body. So for example, he will be for any mental blocks you're having, any stress up here in the head. So when you're practicing, you just go into he. If you have any communication issues or your creativity is slightly blocked, start going he, give it a little massage, go he. So let's do it together, the three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with he.
And everybody at home, come on, everyone at home, join in as well, please.
I just want to say something. When you feel that transitions from simulated into real, that means you're dissolving an issue, you're dissolving a trauma or some kind of stress that's in that area. Cool. Okay, so breathe in, everybody. Let's do the he. Let's go to the he. communication, creativity. Now, if you have any trauma, emotional trauma, which we all do, that's why most of the laughter that we hear goes ha 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 ha, because we've all got some kind of thorns in our heart from our past, from our childhood. Okay, everybody, let's breathe in deeply. And ha 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 ha. Yeah, I still got baggage after 16 years. I grew up on the coast of the soul, full of expats, knocking it down.
What are they
like? And going a little bit lower, the sexual chakra, which I'm definitely going.
I sexta-feira today. The only day we're sexing it in Portuguese, isn't it? Sexta-feira. So let's go for it.
Let's go to sexta-feira. It's been a long time for me, so definitely I'm going to be transitioning. Okay, here we go. Breathe in. And ho 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 If you don't transition into real laughter, it could be for two reasons. One, you got a really good sex life and you don't really need to laugh in that chakra. Or you are so jammed, you are so bottled up that you can't get it flowing. Right. So when somebody is kind of like very stagnant emotionally, there's a big trauma. You really need to get into crying before you get into laughing. And I'm not going to get into crying right now. We don't have enough time to get into crying, but crying is part of laughter yoga. And if you can get your body into crying, then it's really easy to go into a full laughter attack. Just in the middle of the crying, just transition into laughter. That's the fastest way to get into a genuine laughter attack. What do you need a laughter attack for? You need a laughter attack when you feel the lump in your throat, or you feel some kind of heavy weight here in your solar plexus. Now, laughter attacks, they happen spontaneously, especially when something traumatic is happening. For example, well, some people get laughter attacks during funerals or in a near car crash or in a car crash and stuff like that. Your body just says, I don't care what you think. We're going to laugh our heads off now. We're going to just get rid of some of this, you know. But you can provoke a laughter attack, especially if you practice laughter yoga for a while. On the 24th and 25th, we have a course, a laughter yoga course. You can come for the beginning of it and just leave a donation. If you want to come for the course, there are only 2 inscriptions left for that course. And that's to become a laughter yoga practitioner. But here is a couple of tricks. I don't know how much time you're going to give me, but here's a couple of tricks of how to get through to a full-blown laughter attack when you're feeling like you really need it. So one was a crying. Now you can use other forms of catharsis to make a bridge. So let's try a little bit of COVID coughing. Are we ready?
COVID coughing.
Let's do some COVID coughing, okay? Not coughing, coughing. Okay, I'm going to ask I say the 3 of you because I can see 3 people, but actually it's just the 2 of you because I'm one of them. Okay, here we go. So you're just going to go. Okay, that's right. Now we're going to start making that more prolonged. So we go. It worked really well. Sorry, I transitioned a bit too quickly. I leave people behind.
It can happen to anyone. I often say that to my wife.
Okay, everybody. So you need to be able to make this sound. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, Now, when I started with laughter yoga, I wasn't even capable of doing that because of the depression and when I tried to go, it came up more like, okay.
Oh.
Strengthen that muscle. You've got a muscle here. It's the laughter muscle. It's right below the solar plexus where it's soft tissue. You can feel it when you laugh. Put your finger right there. There's bone, bone, bone. Where the bone finishes, go a bit further down, and then go. You can feel the little muscle jump.
Yeah.
That's the laughter muscles. Okay, so everybody, let me hear you. Can we hear you, Giuliana? Okay, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my word.
So that's another little trick.
Oh, yeah.
Before I get cut off, because I usually do, because I usually go on forever. But before I get cut off, there are more ways of provoking a laughter attack, but more important than that is using laughter yoga for difficult situations. Like, say you're going to get pulled over by the police, right? You see them, they're waving you down.
Okay, really?
You start into a little bit of a panic, a paddy. So you can do silent laughter without anybody noticing. So as he's asking you for your papers, you turn your head down towards your handbag and you go like this.
Really?
Does anybody catch you?
I love that.
Okay, it's a nice little trick.
Yeah,
I always use it when I'm on my when I'm on the phone with my Portuguese ex. He can be a little bit nasty. So when he's having a go at me, I'm going.
Brilliant.
All kids used to do it when the teacher turned around and looked at them.
I used to get loads at school. Yeah.
You know, it brings you back to Zen. Laughter, what laughter does, it's an equalizer. So it brings you back. It brings you from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. It will boost your immune system. It will strengthen your heart. It will get rid of all your toxins. You lose weight. You lose calories. It will warm you up if you're cold. And it also is a great way to fall in love and to keep love going.
Yeah.
When I discovered laughter yoga, I was a single person. So I actually started laughing with one of my students, and he became my second husband. So it really works.
Wow.
And I spent 5 years as a single mother with my little Portuguese girl. And so it'd been a long time since I'd got butt naked in front of a man. And laughter got me all the way. So yeah, so all the blokes out there, when you're having your the men's den, I don't know when this.
This is good advice. This is good advice. Maybe you should come and speak to the American.
Practice your laughter yoga. Practice being funny, because that is a certain way to get your leg over. If you can get her laughing, she's going to feel more at ease, and she's just going to feel more relaxed, and all the problems of the day are going to melt away. And then, you got a better chance.
I do have to. This is the longest. I've got to go and make my wife laugh now. No, I've actually got another appointment at 10 o'clock, and this is the longest Good Morning Portugal live stream we've ever done, and quite rightly so. And I think me and a lot of other men here will feel very capable and able now to maybe buy a bottle of rose essential oil, get that going on the burner, get her laughing, and a great evening will ensue from that. Joanne, Giulia, this has been so much fun this morning. I think we'll have to do this once a month at least, won't we? Get together again and spread these happy vibes.
I'm at your service. I'm at your service. If you want, we can laugh a minute a day, whatever you like. I'm just, at home making fairies. I'm making a fairy garden.
That sounds wonderful. And yeah, Carl McAdam there saying the other Carl he is over in Fundale, revelationary show, Carl. Yeah, I think we've broken the boundaries of broadcasting this morning, and I'm hoping that we get a call from the president to say, look, we need this as part of the national health system of Portugal, and then we can do this on a regular basis. Okay, fantastic.
After a laughter yoga session in the ministry, they all could use a good laugh there.
Couldn't they just? Absolutely. We need to look after those people because they can get a bit too serious. Gemini says, thank you for a laughter morning. Thank you for a great show. It's been our pleasure, hasn't it? So let's have a great day, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Bom fim de semana. And I think oh, look, we're going to say goodbye with Toupee and Sky there. Sorry, Blue. And oh, what a lovely finish to the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Giulia, you've been amazing. Joanne, you've been amazing. Let's do this again sometime. Bom fim de semana.
Bom fim de semana. Até a próxima.
And Joanne's screen is frozen, but it's a lovely shot of her laughing. And don't forget, everybody, she's looking for dates. So just connect up on the expatsportugal.com forum. Ciao for now. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.